Today, I'm going to be going over the top 5 scariest pets in all of Prodigy. It's Pumpkin Fest, we're in the spirit, and these pets are almost guaranteed to scare any opponent you face in Prodigy. But anyway, I'm not wasting any more time. Let's straight jump in to number 5 on the list. Number 5, as the number 5 scariest pet in Prodigy, we are giving it to the one, to the only, yup, it is Pterosaur. Now, as you guys know, I've ranked Pterosaur at the top of many of my lists because, of course, it has some insane stats. But when we're talking about scariness, yeah, Pterosaur still makes the list. It's not number 1, but I'm giving it the number 5 spot. Now, where does the scariness come from? Number 1, you gotta take into account his looks, and Pterosaur just has that aura about him that is menacing. Taking a look straight at his looks, he does have the fire coming from his head. He is a dinosaur. He looks very, very scary. He has sharp teeth, so in the looks department, yeah, you're getting one of these scariest pets in all of Prodigy. But you also have to take into account the aura. The aura of Pterosaur is that he's probably a top 5 pet in all of Prodigy. And I don't know about you, if I'm going up against anyone who has a top 5 pet, I am going to be scared. Like, let's be honest, this guy is absolutely crazy. So you have to take into the account, what does this pet do to your opponent? Does it make him scared? Does it make him laugh? You don't want to have a pet that's so small and weak that your opponent doesn't get scared. It's not going to help you in a battle. You want to have a pet like Pterosaur who's known to be extremely good. Now, stats do have to play a part in this a little bit because, I mean, a pet can look scary all you want, but if they don't have good stats, I don't think anyone's going to be scared of them. It does have physical element, 730 health, 390 speed, 490 power, and 730 defense. That power is pretty good. Health and defense are up there a lot. You're gonna be scared of this guy because, yeah, it's just really hard to take this guy out. Like, let's be honest, it's hard to be a Pterosaur. So, you know what? It's number 5 on the list. There's probably scarier pets in Prodigy, but just due to the fact that it's super good, like, you almost have to include him in your list of top 5 players. Now, we're gonna move on to number 4, and this guy, you know, he's not the best pet in terms of stats, but when we're talking about strictly look at him and strictly talking about a scary pet, this guy has to be on the list. It is Embershed. Now, Embershed is probably the biggest, baddest pet in all of Prodigy, right? It's not the scariest because, let's be honest, there are a few pets that probably scare you a little bit more. But when we're talking about straight size and appearance, I mean, this guy could literally be a boss. I mean, he is huge. He is a huge red fire dragon. I don't know how it could get any scarier than this. He looks extremely fierce. Not to mention, in the stats category, he's not lacking at all. He has almost 900 health. That would scare me if I have to go up against this guy. Almost 600 defense, which, you know what, we'll take it. 500 power, 420 speed. Honestly, the only thing limiting this dude from being higher in the video, he's common. You know what, you see this dude kind of fairly often, which means you maybe get used to a little bit of his fierceness. And you know what, I can understand that, but if I'm a first-time Prodigy player and I have to go up against Embershed, I'm being so scared. It's not going to be a good battle for me, and I bet a lot of you guys would agree. Like I mentioned, we can't move him up higher just because, you know what, he is common. So once you see him a few times, you're used to what he has to offer. But yeah, if you, for the first time when you see this guy, there's no doubt you are extremely scared. We're going to move on to the top 3 pets, and this is where things get interesting. Not only are these pets extremely good for just battling in general, they're very scary to go up against, and I would probably never want to go up against a wizard who has these pets. Number 3, we're giving it to the one, the only Blastar. Now, I know what you're thinking. Blastar is not the biggest mythical epic, but something about this guy scares me. As you can see by his animation, he's very active. He looks like he's ready to fight. But even further, this guy has some very, very good stats that just makes it scary to go up against. Element is Storm, 640 health, 410 speed, 530 power, and then almost 800 defense. That's just something you're not going to want to deal with in a battle. Now, I'm going to combine this tier. We have Blastar, but you know what? I also have to add in Big Hex because they're kind of interchangeable. I would probably be more scared of Big Hex because, of course, Big Hex was the first ever epic released. If you're fighting Big Hex, you're scared Well, because the player you're playing against has been playing for like 6 years. That in alone is very scary, but when we're taking a look at him, this guy has electricity flying all around him. He's a very, very scary pet in general. He's not as big as Embershed, and probably not even as fierce as Pterosaur, but when you take it to the fact that this guy's legendary, he has some very, very good stats, he was the first ever epic ever released, and he has electricity, the ability to literally shock you at any second. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, I am not going to want to be in a battle where Big Hex is fighting me. And even further, Blastar is almost an updated version, so if you had to go up against Blastar or Big Hex, yeah, I'm honest, I would be scared in that battle. And I bet a lot of you guys would agree, but they are a combo tier, a little bonus pet for you guys at number 3. Moving on to number 2, we have 2 more pets left, so these pets you almost never want to see in battle. I bet you guys could agree with me. I'm giving number 2 to Barkbarian. Now, something about this dude is just so scary to me. Now, he is a version of Arcturus, so he is kind of a variation, but Barkbarian to me is 10 times scarier. This guy's vibe has a magic vibe. He has the mythical trees around him. Something about this guy, it just spooks me. Like, you guys can agree, this guy is just a spooky pet. First off, he's extremely big. I mean, this guy is huge. He takes up so much space. Second off, he has that aura about him that screams magic and power and sorcery, and you just don't really want to go up against that guy. Now, of course, he is legendary. His element's plant. Well, you know what's scary about this guy? He has 1,000 health. I mean, are we serious? 1,000 health? 420 speed, 490 power, and 490 defense. Barkbarian gets the number 2 spot. It's not really for any specific reason. It's a culmination of all the reasons I mentioned. I think he's just absolutely scary, and I don't know about you. It's just something I have personally against this guy that makes me scared of him. Maybe it's his eyes that don't have any eye bulbs. Maybe it's its beard that has, you know, that huge blue beard. Maybe it's all the gems and trees he has on him. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. He's number 2 on the list. Now I want to give one honorable mention before we move on to number 1. It is the brand new Splash and Spark. My only issue with Splash and Spark, they're a little bit too happy, right? They look bright, they look vibrant. Usually you want to have a pet that's slightly more fierce. Now it is getting an honorable mention because, I mean, look at his stats. It is a mythical epic. At the end of the day, any mythical epic is going to scare you, but I would like to see them be a little more fierce, maybe have some dirt marks on them, maybe have some scratches or gashes if you want to get them to that number 2 spot. But undoubtedly, right, this is almost unanimous. The scariest pet in Prodigy has got to be the Crystal Monster. For those of you guys who don't know, the only way to get a Crystal Monster is on a hacked account. So I was given this hacked account, and if you go up against a Crystal Monster, all that it means is you're going up against a hacker, which is probably the scariest thing you can do. You can put any one of these 3 Crystal Monsters. I guess I give it to this middle guy just because he's the biggest, but these Crystal Monsters, you know you're going up against a hacker, which is almost the scariest thing you can do. Let me know down below if you agree with my list. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.